What's going on, everybody? Mr. Octagonal here, and today NBA2K20 is dropped. Let me tell you guys, I am quite excited that we have this game now. I've been very excited about it for a while, and if you're new to the channel, expect, obviously, this MyLeague series. Also expect some rebuilds, mainly realistic. The only difference between the MyLeague and the rebuilds is that rebuilds last only one episode per team, where this MyLeague, we're going to stick with this team until 2K21, trying to give them an NBA championship. So, we can do a WNBA season, which I think is quite cool, but for right now, we're focused on the NBA. Maybe we'll do something with the WNBA down the line. So, I had a vote. I also had a team reveal, and I assume you know which team this is based off of the thumbnail and the video. But if not, the subscribers and the straw poll overwhelmingly wanted to see me do the Charlotte Hornets, so that's what we're going to do. The Hornets are not sitting pretty. They have probably the worst roster in the league, not a lot of young talent, a bunch of bad contracts, very small market, so I think the only thing going for them right now is probably their logo and branding, which in my opinion, I think they have the best logo in the NBA. I think you could make a case for the Golden State Warriors. I think they have a very nice emblem, very nice jerseys, but I'd probably give the nod to Charlotte here. But other than that, looks on the court don't matter if the play on the court is not good. We have to make the play on the court good here with this team. So we're going to auto-generate classes for now. We will be using the real-life ones with James Wiseman, Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball. But I recorded this at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and there weren't many great draft classes yet, so hopefully when I record my rebuild, that will also be uploaded today. Hopefully the draft classes will be a little bit better, or else we're only going to have those crappy auto-generated players. So, as you can see, the MyLeague menus are the same. The menus for the rest of the game are a little bit different. I think they're better than last year's. Obviously, this year's MyLeague menus aren't better than last year's because it's the same thing. So looking at the roster, we have Terry Rozier, Scary Terry, 78 overall. He's the best player on this team, the Kemba Walker replacement. And Terry Rozier is a system player, in my opinion. He was great in Boston, but I expect a massive decline from him in Charlotte. We've seen this with Isaiah Thomas, Avery Bradley, Jay Crowder. I expect it with him as well, and I think he's worse than all of those players. His stats may not go down because he's on a crappy team now, but I think as a player, he won't be anything special. And then behind him at the point guard, Devontae Graham, Rock Chalk Jayhawk, baby. You guys know we're keeping him the entire series. Maybe he'll be the starting point guard down the line. We'll see. At shooting guard, one of the few young bright spots on this team, Malik Monk, third-year man out of Kentucky, only 21 years old. Very good jump shooter. Other than that, he's still pretty raw. He has some work to do. But I think with Kemba gone, he could be the main scoring option, probably. And now on to the small forward position, because this team doesn't have any other actual shooting guards. We're going to start off with Nicolas Batum, the Frenchman. He only has 2 years left on his deal, but it's for $52 million. It's not a good contract. The second year is for a player option, but obviously he's going to accept it, so it's basically a 2-year contract pretty much. He's a 10-point-per-game scorer, maybe. He's nothing special, and that's one of the worst contracts in the entire NBA. But behind him, we have a player I'm really excited about. Miles Bridges, second-year man at Michigan State, very explosive forward. He was just in the dunk contest this past season. And sort of like Monk, he was quite raw last year, but I think he has a ton of upside, and I think with Kemba Walker and Jeremy Lamb gone, he can be one of the main vocal options on offense. His numbers can go up, and he will have tougher assignments on defense. After him, we have Dwayne Bacon, who I view more as a shooting guard, but I guess small forward, what's the big difference? Bacon was very efficient last year in his second season out of Florida State. Now, I doubt he played that much, so that doesn't really mean a whole lot, but he's a guy who I want to give playing time to off the bench, and I think we should definitely look to build around him as a bench player, probably not as a long-time starter. And then after him, Cody Martin, second-round pick out of Nevada. Me, like a bunch of other people, were questioning this pick, not the one that I would have made personally, but we can look to build around him as another bench player for this series. I plan on putting him in the G League for the first season, and then maybe using him as a bench player later. At power forward, we're going to start off with Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, former number 2 overall pick. He has a big three-point shot, and I don't really agree with that. I don't know him as a jump shooter. I know him more as a defensive player. Very good on defense, but offensively, he is a liability. He is an awful shooter, not a great scorer, and he was the number 2 overall pick. So maybe we can tap into his potential, but I don't really see it with him. So we're going to see how it goes. Maybe he plays well for us, maybe he doesn't. He's a wait-and-see guy. Another former number 2 overall pick, Marvin Williams. Probably a little bit too late for him to really show his potential. He's already 33 years old, but he's been a solid bench player for this team for a while. Nice shooter, nice veteran presence in the locker room. And then after him, a player I'm super excited about, P.J. Washington, the rookie out of Kentucky, number 12 overall pick. I was a big fan of him coming out of Kentucky. I think a lot of people slept on him, and I think he'll be really good, especially offensively. He's a great scorer, needs to work on other areas, not the greatest of athletes, not a very good rebounder, but I think if he can improve his rebounding and continue to be a great scoring threat, I think he will be really, really solid for us. And then at center, former number 4 overall pick, Cody Zeller. He's a solid starter for this team. Not much else to say about him, really. Probably not a guy who we're going to look to build around. Maybe he'll be on the bench long term for us once we start getting good, but I don't know. Behind him, though, Willie Hernan-Gomez, 25 years old, 76 overall. I think he's a guy who we could definitely look to keep on this team, whether that's the long-term starting center, the long-term backup center. We'll just have to see with him, but he's a player I'm pretty excited about playing with, as he is the brother of Juan Hernan-Gomez, by the way, if you didn't know. After him, Bismack Biyombo, another bad contract, but it is only for 1 more year, so it doesn't really matter. He's not a very good player, but there's only 1 year left, so we can just let him go after this one. Maybe look to flip him at the deadline. We'll see with him. And then after him, Thomas Welsh. Did not know that the Hornets had Thomas Welsh, but it doesn't really matter because he's nothing special. Former late-round pick out of UCLA, played with the Denver Nuggets. Probably going to put him in the G League with Cody Martin for year 1. So there's the team. It sucks, but it is terrible. The best player is Terry Rozier, who is not a good point guard. I think he's probably not a starting caliber player at the position, in my opinion. There aren't many other players on this team who are starting caliber, so it's going to be a rough year for the Charlotte Hornets for sure. But hopefully we get a good draft pick, I guess. So here's a look at the rotation. Terry Rozier will be getting 29 minutes, and then after that, we're just going to start the young guys. Malik Monk, Miles Bridges, P.J. Washington. That's our big 3. Those are the guys who we want to build around. Washington and Bridges currently at 34 minutes, Monk at 33. At center, we're going to be splitting 22 minutes apiece for Cody Zeller and Willie Hernan-Gomez. If one of them plays better than the other, we'll make a switch, but for right now, that's what we're going to do with them. And then after that, the rest of the guys as well. Devontae Graham will be getting playing time, obviously. Nicholas Batum, Dwayne Bacon, and then Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. Those are all the guys who will be coming off the bench. I don't really like having 10-man rotation. I think it's a little bit too many players, but I want to get a lot of these guys playing time, and this is the best way to do it. But we don't need to take this year seriously because we're not going to go super far. After those guys, there are some decent players who aren't getting minutes, most notably Marvin Williams, who I'm not giving playing time to this year. It's just that he's 33. Probably going to look to flip him. Maybe if someone like Bacon or Kidd-Gilchrist really struggles, maybe we can do some changes and let Marvin Williams play. So that's the plan for the rotation. Obviously, things will change. Obviously, the team will change throughout the season. So then those two will be going to the G League, of course, Cody Martin and Thomas Welsh. So we might have to sign a few extra players for roster spots. The guys we sign aren't really going to play too much. So, yeah, this team is a mess, clearly. Next episode will be opening day against the Chicago Bulls at home, so make sure to stay tuned for that. That'll likely be uploaded tomorrow. And then after that, we have an interesting stretch. 3 of our first 6 games, I believe, are against the Golden State Warriors, the LA Clippers, and the LA Lakers. So we're definitely going to look to play a few of those games in the coming episodes as well. And there's a look of the whole schedule. There's a few games that catch your eye. Maybe we can look to play them this year. I'm going to try to get by year 1 quickly. I kind of want to go 5 years in this series. In my past MyLeagues with the Hawks and the Kings, I've only done 4. So I think 5 is a good goal. Will it happen? Who knows? But we'll try. So that on the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Tell me what you thought of the episode. Tell me what you thought of the new green screen and face cam I've added. I've never done this before.